Please rise for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem. Please take your seats. Family and friends, I'd like to thank you for your attendance at the graduation of the Department of Aviation Medicine Flight Paramedic Course Class 254. Welcome. My name is Sergeant First Class Tsari Garotsov, and I am the master of the ceremony for today's graduation. These students have spent past 4 weeks pouring their heart, a lot of sweat, and even some tears to accomplish the goal of becoming an Army critical care flight paramedic. They come from all over the country in pursuit of higher education to provide the best possible medical care to our injured soldiers on the battlefield. This job is not for the coward. It is not for a person that turns and runs in adversity, and definitely not for the weak of stomach. It challenges excellence and demands an unwavering persistence to know more, to climb higher, and develop resilience. We're here at the Department of Aviation Medicine have demanded a lot out of these students over the past month. They initially received academics involving aeromedical and hoist operations, as well as recognition of aircraft components and systems. The students were challenged to appropriately identify and describe the workings of the UH-60 engine, transmission, landing gear, hydraulics, and auxiliary systems of the aircraft. This was a surprise to most of them, as they assumed they were here to learn solely about medicine and not helicopter engines. But once acceptance was reached, they all got through it together. The students also subjected to a rigorous water survival training where they learned survival swimming techniques before they were seat belted into a floating chair that was flipped upside down to simulate a crashed and sinking helicopter. This was definitely not the favorite part of this course for some of them, while others had too much fun with it. After the aviation-specific tasks were completed, the next phase was to focus on medical tasks in the back of the helicopter. The simulated patients treated throughout this course ranged from trauma injuries with multiple amputations, military working dogs, post-surgical critical care transfers, to even children and babies. The students took part in a mass casualty scenario where they assessed, triaged, and treated multiple patients while still being expected to manage a very chaotic scene. This tested their physical and mental limits to prepare for mass casualty producing environments. Additionally, the students completed a cumulative situational training exercise where they had to manage a critical post-surgical patient in a real helicopter as it flew 1,000 feet off the ground. These flight paramedics finally put into practice everything they have learned over the past 4 weeks and accomplished what they set out to achieve. Some starting over a year ago, but learning does not stop here. This is only the beginning of all possibilities lie before them. Now I would like to introduce our guest speaker for today, Second Lieutenant Armando Yanez. Lieutenant Yanez completed a highly distinguished career as a critical care flight paramedic, instructor, and a course in CLSC at En Route Critical Care Branch. He was also a recipient of Quad A Flight Medic of the Year 2018 award and a Silver Star for personal actions in line of duty. Lieutenant Yanes recently commissioned and on orders to Alaska.
Thank you for those kind words. You guys can relax, by the way. I know you guys are sitting at attention, but if it's more comfortable for you just to sit down and relax, please do so. Good morning, distinguished guests, cadre, family, friends, and most importantly, graduates of the Flight Paramedic course. Today is a special day as we celebrate your remarkable achievement. Completing this demanding training is just the beginning of your important role as a flight paramedic. You have worked hard, overcome challenges, and demonstrated great commitment. You are now prepared to provide critical care in challenging situations, whether on battlefields, disaster areas, or emergency scenes. Your new role is honorable and demanding. It requires strong technical skills, quick thinking under pressure, and ongoing training. Never wait for training to occur. Training needs to be constant, efficient, and realistic. Maintain personal accountability for your technical skills and reach out for help if needed. Please do not neglect your training. But it is essential to remember that this job is not about you. It's about the men and women who might be experiencing the worst day of their lives. Your actions, decisions, and professionalism directly impact their chances of survival and recovery. Approach each mission with humility, knowing the profound responsibility you hold in your hands. This career will challenge you in ways you can't fully yet imagine. The long hours, high-stress missions, and life-or-death decisions will leave their mark. But through it all, there will be defining moments, experiences that stay with you forever. These moments will test your character, your training, and your resolve. They will remind you why you chose this path and reinforce the sacred trust placed in by those you serve. In the chaos of rotor wash, enemy fire, or emergencies, you will find clarity. You will understand that your role is more than just a profession, it's a calling. And in those moments, you will come face to face with what this job truly means. Everyone remembers, or will remember, that one mission they'll never forget. The sounds, the urgency, the weight of responsibility, it stays with you. For some, it defines the very essence of service. For many others and myself, that mission was on July 12, 2018. That day, we launched to extract a critically wounded partner force member supporting a Ranger operation. Sergeant First Class Christopher Solis, a platoon sergeant for 1st Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment, knowingly exposed himself to enemy fire to shield our aircraft and ensure we could get the patient out. Even after being mortally wounded, he remained focused on our crew's safety. Because of his sacrifice, we were able to get the patient to a higher level of care. Sergeant First Class Solis wasn't a medic, but he fully understood the gravity of our mission and gave everything to protect it. His actions are a permanent reminder that courage and selflessness are not bound by the MOS that we hold, but by the heart of this profession. Let his legacy remind us that our job is not critical, it's sacred. As you begin your new roles, I encourage you to find a mentor in the medevac community. Mentors provide valuable guidance and wisdom based on their experience. If you don't know where to find one or who to pick, I can tell you that your instructors here are more than worthy. My mentor, who I'm honored to name, Andrew James Six, profoundly influenced my career path. His guidance helped me realize the importance of adaptability and continuous growth. He was very intense, didn't accept mediocrity, and was all in on the medevac mission. I can assure you his mentorship showed me how valuable it is to have someone who genuinely cares about your development and your success. His dedication ultimately reminded me that excellence in our field directly translates into life saves. Lastly, always remember that your humanity is your most important, powerful tool. Your kindness, empathy, and compassion can leave a lasting impact and are just as important as your medical skills. Let your humanity guide every interaction and action you take. Trust me, you will go far. It was an honor to be a guest speaker. Good luck in your next rendezvous with destiny. Congratulations again to all of you. When a heavy wounded, dust off.
Thank you, Lieutenant Yanez, for being here today. Now I would like to call Sergeant Gwandike to the stage to lead the students in the Flight Medic Oath.
Class, attention. The Flight Medic Oath. The Flight Medic Oath. I accept the solemn responsibility which has been placed on me as a member of the aviation healthcare community. I will selflessly continue to devote my efforts to further the field of aviation medicine and aviation safety. I will endeavor to remember that my education is never ending. My work will not waver. Proficiency in my skills are the tools in which many lives will connect. My duties as an aviation medical aid man are, first, to be totally dedicated to the preservation of life and limb of my fellow soldier. Second, to maintain myself in a state of perpetual readiness. Thirdly, to show by example devotion to duty, honor, and country. I will not lose faith in my God, my country, my duty, or my colleagues. I will strive to provide the best possible care to those entrusted to my skills. This I do solemnly swear on my honor and by the heavens in which men fly. Take seats.
Sergeant Gwandike will return to First Sergeant Asramandi, what was issued at the beginning of the course. Sergeant Gwandike was chosen to be the bearer of the legendary Crewmember wings that date back to the 1980s. This exact badge has been passed from class to class without fail and was issued in the beginning of the course to be carried at all times to honor those who have come before them. This class has been through an incredible amount of training to get where they sit now, and we will recognize them for that dedication. The Distinguished Honor Graduate is recognition given to the student who achieves the highest academic exam average and receives the first-time go in all hands-on evaluations. The Distinguished Honor Graduate for Class 254 is Sergeant Dave Detman from Maine National Guard. And now, the additional graduates of Class 254 are Staff Sergeant Douglas Baston, Specialist Olivia Bobo, Sergeant Justin Eden, Sergeant Joseph Fauzi, Sergeant Steve Gwandike, Sergeant Lucas Haupt, Sergeant Scott McCliss, Sergeant Shane McGregor, Sergeant Kyle Prantle, Sergeant Jacob Shafford, Sergeant Giovanna Tully, Sergeant Philip Williamson, Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduates of the Flight Paramedic course. Additionally, Sergeant Detman, a Distinguished Honor Graduate, will now present a class gift to Lieutenant Yanez.
Sir, I'd like to present this gift on behalf of Class 254 in appreciation of you coming down and saying a few words for us today.
Sergeant Detman, the Dust Off Association would like to present you with a gift.
Hey, good morning. I'm Sergeant First Class Justin Jackson. I'm an active duty critical care flight paramedic stationed here at Fort Novosel. And on behalf of my office, one of our industry partners, Onboard Systems, that makes some of the hoists and winches that we use in our aircraft, you've been awarded a lifetime membership to the Dust Off Association. This is from Captain Gustavo Maldonado and Master Sergeant Joseph Stringer. They're the National Guard representatives in DC for medevac units. And so this is a lifetime membership. It's, I think, a grand total of $50, so don't get yourself too worked up about it. But it's our professional organization, right? So this is by far the best and most rewarding profession in my eyes in the Army. You have an impact on service members' lives, you know, past and present and future. So take pride in what you do. Just like LT Yanez, it's good to see you. Just like LT Yanez said, keep after the training, don't get complacent, and bring everyone home, all right? Thank you.
Thanks.
On behalf of the Director, I would like to thank everyone for their attendance today. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for playing of the Army song, and please remain standing for the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attendance. This concludes the graduation. Class dismissed.